Back with Bobby and JJ Radio, actually Cachet Real Estate Financing Radio with the great Trevor Morton, our co-host, taking over the show today. We've talked about why you guys are the best in the business.
Yes, sir.
Which I don't even think that was a waste of time because everyone knows that. And then we talked about FHA loans. We're going to shift gears now. You guys have a really special niche in the market, I feel, in San Antonio, because a lot of people stay away from this. A lot of people can go out there and look for homes with some awesome residential agent like Bobby. And have you ever heard about where like nothing just, like third house, like you got your starter home, you sold it, you got your secondary home because the kids got big, you sold it, now you got a big chunk of money, you got a big down payment, and you're looking for that dream home. It's usually people in their late 30s to early 50s, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's a demographic.
Absolutely.
And they've worked hard, they scrimped and saved, they didn't go on vacation because they've just had that home ownership for anywhere near a decade, and now they want to have that dream home. They want the custom home that they want to build.
They want to get a lot. They want to build something that is exactly what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of loan officers that do this, by the way.
No, most of the time they go to their loan officer from a big bank and they say like, oh no, you can't do that.
And they try to talk them into, why don't you just go talk to this builder?
Why do they talk them into that?
Because they can't do the loan.
Because they can't do the loan.
Bingo.
Yeah, and there's so many times that we can't get stuff done for our clients or before we met Trev, because we had 5 banks saying, no, we can't do it, or you can't do it. They would say you can't do it. But the fact is
they try to scare them into it'd be too big of a down payment.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they try to scare you into not doing something like that.
Right, but it's completely plausible. It's usually very possible for most people. It's just because these banks don't know what they're doing.
Right.
So let's talk about that demographic. Your second or third home. You want to get something exactly how you want it. You want to pick out the lot. You want to pick out the builder. You want to pick out the floor plan, the granite countertops.
You're in control. You want to be in control of the whole situation.
Customize it to the T.
Absolutely. And
so walk us through how that works.
Everybody, and the reason why that perception of it's a harder barrier to entry is because they don't understand it. They want you to go do the cookie cutter, go buy a regular home and move on from there. But you've made it to a point in your life where you want to build. You want exactly what you want, and you want it for probably less than what you're going to find of where you're going to have to compromise that already exists.
Right.
So we specialize in the 3 steps of the program. Purchase the lot, build the home, finance the home for 30 years.
So they should talk to you even before they purchase the land.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We will get you pre-qualified for the land beforehand and give you some advice of great agents like y'all who know where to go to fit that need of land. One of y'all's sales agents, Justin's, killing it out in New Braunfels right now.
Yeah.
Just on lot sales.
Yeah.
So it's a fact that when you pick out the lot, you can actually make it even easier because you can combine the lot loan and the construction loan all into one, which saves you the closing costs mainly on title, which is going to be associated with both when you close on the lot, then when you close on the house. It'll save you that money.
So you're a consumer. You found a great agent like Bobby or Justin, and you're out there shopping, and you're like, hey, I haven't found anything I want, so I'm going to build from the ground up. Talk to Cachet.
Absolutely.
And they're going to pick out a lot, and you're going to do the lot. You're going to give them money for the lot.
Right. We're going to finance the lot. We are going to finance the construction right after that. The lot's going to be taken down underneath the construction loan either way because that's our equity base. Our equity base is in the land. So that's what's being held when you take down the construction loan.
Right.
So say they found the lot, they're ready to build, they've picked their builder, and let's rock and roll. You take out a construction loan, which is basically a short-term interest-only note. Typically, it's for 9 to 12 months because that's all you really need to build a house these days.
Sure.
Even some of the bigger ones, we're not seeing any more than 13 months it being taken. I'm talking 6,500 square feet.
Right.
So think of it like a credit card. You're coming in. You're not borrowing all the money that it's going to take to build the house at once. You're going to take it out in chunks. So that builder's going to take out $40,000 to pour your foundation, another $15,000, $20,000 to put up the sticks, the framing, so on and so forth. So at the end of the loan, that's when you're really going to be paying about what you're going to be paying for 30 years after that.
Sure. So they disperse as it goes.
Right.
And you're from the beginning to the very end.
Absolutely. We stick with you all the way through. We advise and we also protect you in the way of when the builder's taking these draws, like I was talking about with a credit card, we are actually inspecting it ourselves, making sure that they're doing everything.
They're not just going to
Vegas
Vegas put it on a rip.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So that's actually calmed down a lot post 2008. that fraud's been mitigated because the rules were too loose before,
right.
And now that they've tightened up, that doesn't happen very much anymore.
So before we take a quick break, you have another type of loan where you can actually go into a house and renovate it.
We do, and it's basically the exact same concept.
Okay.
You come in, and instead of purchasing a lot, you purchase an existing home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that home needs X amount of dollars in work. Let's say it needs $50,000-$60,000 in work.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the cash to bring down for that,
Sure.
and there's no way to finance that on the back end when you purchase it on the front end with a conventional loan. So we take it down as an interim loan, just like we would taking down the lot and the construction. You do all your renovations, you finish everything off, you take an as completed appraised value. So we come in and we do an appraisal before the work even starts with the scope of work that your contractor's given us, and we say this house will be worth $90,000 more, even though you're putting $50,000 into it. You get instant equity, you get below your 80% LTV, and you're good to go.
So who's a typical person that would do something like this? Because I can see somebody like, let's say, an Alamo Heights, because you can put as much money in as you can.
We're having a listing coming up in Terrell Hills right now. It's been rented for a long time. Lady doesn't want to do anything with it. Mm-hmm. It's a perfect house.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, for this program.
Yeah, it has a pool, but it just looks like the Brady Bunch. It's just how it is, right?
So somebody that wants his house but wants it updated and doesn't have the money to do it, so might as well finance it.
That's exactly right.
And you can make 2-to-1 on your money when you put into the kitchen or bathrooms.
Absolutely, you can. And it doesn't have to be anything major. It can be major, but if you just want to do some cosmetic stuff, this is a great way to do it. Now, in Terrell Hills, you wouldn't qualify for what's called an FHA 203K because the price point's too high.
Too high, yeah.
And it's a lot more hoops to jump through because it's an FHA loan.
Government insured.
Exactly.
What's a typical closing date on something like that?
30 days. We can get it done in just the amount of time. That's exactly right. The biggest hang up on those is making sure the contractor gets you a fairly accurate bid and gets you drawings.
And you have people that can help them with that.
Absolutely. We handle all that stuff.
So if you want to build from the ground up, go find a house to renovate, and you don't have the cash, how can they get a hold of this awesome company?
You can reach me on my cell phone at any time at 210-725-1685, or you can find us online at www.cachet.com.